This
physical
conference will
accessibility
now be recorded.
of this router. But somehow, let's imagine anybody, the attacker or the hacker, they bypass your physical security and they get near to this router and they have a laptop and they have a console cable. So what do you need to do? You need to protect your router from the physical accesses. So what you can do, you can apply a password on the physical port, the console port. So if they want to configure or they want to change the configuration of the router console, then you can protect that by configuring the password. So only the people who has the password, they can take the access, and otherwise other people they cannot. Okay, so that's why we have the password. So the first password we have is the console password. Okay, so the command for that is line console 0. So you need to choose a line of configuration. So there are two type of lines. One is the physical line, which is your physical port, by the way. So which is your physical port of configuration? That will be console port. Okay, then you will say what password you want, 123. Okay, and then you will say login, exit, do show run, and if you go at last, what you can see, line console 0, the password is 123. Okay, so if you will exit out of here, exit, and when somebody try to access by the console, it is asking you for the password. So let's say you are here in the laptop taking console access, going to the putty, clicking serial. Okay, and now they will be asking you the password. So this is the way you protect your router from the physical unwanted access by configuring the console password. Is that okay to you? Clear? The first type of
Yes, sir.
password we have, console password. Okay, great. So how to configure that? So you can take a screenshot or something. So the first password that I am covering is this one, console password. Line console 0, the password, whatever you will write after that, and then you will see what happens if you don't do login. Let me do that also. So you'll go to the line console 0. So how to remove any command? Remember I told you something about the no keyword. To put no in front of the command, and that command will be removed or erased, or that effect of the command will be gone, something like that. So if you will exit now, see it is not asking you the password, but if you check the show run config, see password is there, but the router is not asking you for the password because you have not done login. So that's why configuring the password itself is not enough. You also need to do login. And when you do that, when you try to access, then it will ask you for the password. So this is the meaning of this keyword, login. Okay. Similarly, we have aux password. So in the router itself, now you will see in the physical line, okay, not on the laptop, on the router. Go to physical and see here. You have the second port, aux port. So earlier on, we used to use this port for remote access, but nowadays, after this part, now I'll tell you about this remote access. Nowadays, how we take the remote access. We don't need a separate cable just for the remote connectivity. No, we can use the exact existing cables, and using those cables only we can take the remote access. So I'll tell you, and the point is you no longer use these ports, aux ports, and even in the newer devices you don't find the aux ports. But still, if in some older hardware, if you go to some company, they are using the older routers. And because why this happens, that if some company is using some hardware from last 10 years, 15, 20 years, and it is working fine, it is giving you the output that you want, then there is no point changing it just because there are some new piece of equipment in the market. No, you don't need to put money on that. Once it starts failing, or once you need some features which this hardware is not giving, only then you upgrade your hardware. Okay, so but yes, if you have the aux port, you need to protect that also, because if you don't use, maybe hackers can use that. Okay, so line aux. Now which line you use? The auxiliary line, 0. And why I'm writing 0 here with aux, with console, same 0? Because if you'll see physically, how many ports are there? Aux and console, just one. And one in the binary first means 0. Zeroth means the first, you know? That's why we write 0. Again, the same process. The password, whatever password. So I'm just making very simple passwords, but in actual, you know, these passwords must be complex passwords. Okay, but because we are just in the training environment, just learning things, so yes, I'm just putting things, you know, so that I don't forget things, you know. Then again, login. So I can't show you the practical of this aux password anyway, because there is no way we can access the router by using the aux line. But yes, this is the way you can configure your aux password. Similar to the console, just here you replace the console with the aux. That's it. Any question
Sir,
on
how
these
we
two
can
passwords?
use the password? Like a password is permanent for every time we open router.
Uh-huh.
So how
So what
can
is
we
your
remove?
question? Okay,
How
take
can we
it.
remove password?
You will go to the line where you are configuring the password and you will say no password. You don't need to write no password 123. No. Okay, both will work, but even if you just do no password, it will work. So your choice.
Yes, sir.
So if you will go again, line aux 0, no password, and if you check do show run, see there is no password, no password. So just use the keyword no before the command that you want to remove. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now we have this user mode password. Okay, so you have the console password, you will enter that password, you will go to the first mode of the router, which is the user mode. But there is one more level of security you can have, and that is the user mode password security. What is that? When you try to put the enable keyword here, press enter, it should ask you one password before going to the second mode. Okay, so how to configure that? So earlier on, there was very simple password given by Cisco, because 20, 30, 40 years before, when they started making routers and all, security was not a big thing at that time. Just having a password and just a simple password was something like, okay, you are quite secure, you are kind of a magician, you have the password. So it was like that 30, 40 years before. But nowadays, even some strict kiddies, people just who are don't they are not into the cyber security thing into at all, and they can just get their hands on to those scripts and all, and they can try some hacking at some extent, so you need to be protected. The point is you need to protect your devices. So whatever it is, a sophisticated, elegant, elite attack, or it is just script kiddie attack, you need to be prepared. So earlier on, they used to use this enable password like this, 12 or 123, whatever. But the thing is, when you check this password is transferred as it is in the network. So if there is some man in the middle attack, which we will cover in the security part, then the receiver who is in between the sender and receiver, the attacker actually, they can easily find your password, and if they know your password, you are gone. Okay, so Cisco gave one command to encrypt this password, service password encryption, but this encryption is very weak, MD7 encryption. So you can see, even if you just copy this, go to Google and you try to decrypt this password, now you can easily decrypt this password. So just simply write decrypt MD7 password to open any of the link and just paste the you know that string of the password that you have copied, just submit, and your decrypted password is there. So it's very easy to break this MD 7 password. So what they did, they introduced a new level of security. So how to remove this password? No enable password. Do show run, there is nothing. They introduced a new password which is enable secret. So if you put the same thing, see 1 2 3, and if you use the do show run, can you see the level of encryption here? It's quite long, you know? And this is strong encryption, MD5 encryption. Okay.
Yes, sir. It is a default, sir, password, or we can set manually.
You need to set manually
Yes, sir.
by using this command.
Okay.
Okay. So the recommendation is never use this one, always use this one. We have one more secure password than this, which we will talk about in the security environment, security section. But yes, the maximum level of encryption your device support, use that. Okay. So we have covered the user mode password, the console password, and the aux password. Any question on these 3 type of passwords?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we have the telnet and SSH password. Now, what is this telnet and SSH anyway? So first, let's talk about that. Only then it will make sense talking about their passwords. So imagine you have a router here. Okay. You have a router there. You have a router there. So similar like this in your enterprise environment, maybe there are hundreds of routers, and not just routers, but because we are talking about router here more and more, so I'm talking about router. I'm saying router and router, but it can be any device, your switches, your all other kind of network devices which are here in this packet trace, you can see. But okay, how to do that, Hannah? What will be there, Hannah? Let's say they are connected like this. So they are like this, and this is in your one of the branches or one of the buildings. This is another of the buildings or the branches, and this is in the server room. So this is situated where? In your server room, hai na? And you know how heavily the server rooms are protected, right? And not just protected, if you'll say, so you can also say that there are the network engineers sitting all day and working on the network, monitoring, troubleshooting, doing all kind of things every day, you know? So they are connected and they have the access of the whole network. How you want to do that? There are 2 ways to monitor your network and to configure your devices. First, to do everything physically. What is that? You will configure everything which is required on one router and you will place that at its location. Second router you will buy, configure, place at the respective location. Third router, fourth router, everything you will configure and place at the respective location. Unfortunately, at some point of time, after 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, something happens here, or some upgradation you need, or some extra commands you need to put. So what will happen? You need to go there physically by taking your laptop and console cable. Yes or no? Getting my
Yes, sir.
point? Okay. But what if you were able to take access of that router just by sitting here and be able to configure that? How that would be? Awesome. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that is known as a remote access. Have you taken the remote access by TeamViewer, AnyDesk or something?
No, sir.
No. So just do one thing, install AnyDesk in one of the laptops of yours, install AnyDesk in one of the laptop of your friends, and you will be getting some key at your side, and your friend will also be getting one key. You just
Yes,
put
sir, we do.
another person. Remember? AnyDesk. So what happens? You can easily take the access of your, another person's laptop or any device, mobile phone or also.
Yes.
So the same you can do in the networking devices also. There you need to use different protocols. Here you need to use different protocols. And which are two available protocol for us? One is the Telnet and one is SSH. Okay. Now the point is how to configure each one of them and which one should be preferred. Okay. So Telnet is like enable password, old, unsecure, plain text without encrypted. If you are sending data from your router in the server room to the router in another site, the data which is transferred here is unsecure, is plain text, just as it is, no encryption at all. So it is fast, but it is very unsecure. On the other hand, SSH is the newer protocol. Your data is encrypted, and that's why it is secure. But they both work on which high level protocol? TCP. This one work on TCP port number 23 and this one work on TCP port number 22. So which is the recommendation to be used in the industry? Telnet or SSH? SSH. And SSH stands for Secure Shell. So let's see how to configure each one of them. Telnet is very simple, straightforward. So you just need unique host names on each device. Why? Because you need to know which router you are working on, because by default what is the name of each router? Simply a router, है ना? So let's say I'm changing this host name from router to branch router 1. What else do you need? You need a password, user password. So which is recommended again? Enable secret. Okay, so you will say enable secret 123. Then what you need? You need the telnet password. So telnet is, see, this cable here now, this one and this one, they are used for data transmission, you know. Initially or the originally the function of these cables are not the remote access. Okay, this is connected for, you know, data transmission, internet or whatever data you are using in the network. But over the same lines you are using the remote protocols. So for taking remote you are not using separate cables, right? So that is not the physical access. For taking telnet access, are you using some cable, any port? No, nothing, just command. So that's why it is called as the logical line. Telnet and SSH are the logical lines. So that's why it is known as the line VTY. VTY for virtual terminal. Okay. And about virtual terminal, if one router need to be accessed remotely, so it's not like only one other router can access one router. No, your boss can access your router, your manager, they can access your router. Let's say you have bought the router from Cisco, so Cisco technical people, they can access the router. Some junior trainee who is on the, you know, internship or learning things, they can access and see what is happening. So many people can access. So how many? We'll do the question mark here and see the number. 0 to 15 means how many total? Yeah,
14 numbers.
16 plus
Yes,
1,
sir.
na? 15 plus 1. So total 16 devices can take the access. So you need to configure every line, all of the lines. Then it is simple, same password 123 and login. Okay, so you have done all three things. First is change the host name accordingly, put the user password and then put the telnet password. And by default, when you are not saying that it is configured for telnet or SSH, so it is configured for what? Telnet. Okay, so telnet is configured when you configure VTY, and SSH need to be configured separately. You need to use extra command. I'll tell you what is that. But if you will see how you will take the access of this device by using the telnet, you need the IP address. Telnet is layer 3, layer 4 process. So what I will do, I'll just configure simple IP addresses. On the router gig 0x1, I will be using 10.0.0.1. On the computer, let's say I'm using 10.2 and the gateway is 10.1. You remember gateway, why we are using or not? Have I covered that part?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Covered.
To talk to the devices of different network. For internetworking, we need default gateway. Okay, so let's go to router gig 0x1. no shutdown, IP address is 10.0.1. Remember how to assign IP to the router interface, okay? The same process that I'm using. Exit. To show IP interface brief. If you'll check that, the IP is 10.1, up, so everything looks good. So go to this computer, desktop, IP, configure the IP 10.2 and the gateway 10.1. Try to ping the devices. Yes, you can see. When you need to take the telnet access just by sitting at one device, you need to put the IP of that router. And see, if you'll put the telnet password here, enter, enable. Now you will put the user password, enter. See, by sitting on this device, you are taking the access of the router. Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Can you do that by yourself now? So you have these conditions, you know. So you know how to set hostname, you know how to set password, and how to set the telnet password. These are the commands. And how to access the device using telnet. This is the command. So in first mode or second mode, you'll go and you'll write, you know. Or even if you are taking, so why I have written this hashtag is for this purpose. Let's say I'm configuring IP here, you know. So let's say this IP is 192.168.10.1 on this side, and on this side it is, let's say, 10.2. To go to gig 0 by 0, IP address, paste it, 255.255.255.0, no shutdown, okay. Go to this router, gig 0 by 0, interface gig 0 by 0, then paste and change it from .1 to .2 and no shutdown. That's it. So we have the IP address both sides, here 10.1, here 10.2. So try to ping 10.1, 192.168. Not this one actually. Ping 192.168.10.1. So in first mode or second mode, you can do ping, or even if you are in the third mode, you can use do ping. You can see you have the communication. So if you have the communication, can you take the telnet access? So yes, use the command telnet and write the IP address of the front router. You can use any of the IP, this one also and this 10.1 also. Okay, but that IP should be reachable. So that is the interesting thing here. So this one, see, you are able to take the telnet access. Enable user password, and see here. This is the reason you need to put the host name, because you never know on which router you are actually. Okay, makes sense. And it is one more thing that I'm trying to tell you. You can take the telnet access from the end devices or from the network devices to each other. That can happen.
Sir, we are using gig beta internet because we are communicating between routers. Router speed is calculated in giga.
No. Some of the routers have gigabit interfaces, but for example, let's say we have this router 2811,
Like, yes, sir.
so it doesn't have gigabit. It will have fast Ethernet, so not a problem. Okay, so 2911 is higher series router than 2811.
Okay, we have to check, sir, what is like a giga or fast.
When you are buying the router now, then you will make this decision. Okay, what speed do you need? 100 or 1000? According to that, you will spend money.
Okay, sir.
You will also think, okay, do I need to buy the Ethernet ports like your twisted pair RJ45, or do I need to buy the fiber ports SFP? All of these decisions have to be made first by the network admins before actually buying the devices.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And after the purchase, whatever interface you have to work with that. Either it is Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, this telnet thing is, I think, clear to you. But if you will see, interesting thing here is this. From this device, I was able to take telnet from 192.68.10.1, है ना? This IP here. But let me configure the host name first on the second router. So right now I'm on which router? This second router. If you try to take the telnet by using 10.1, can you take that access? No. Why? Because you cannot ping 10.1 from this router. They are in different domain. If you can ping, only then you can take access. See? And here is something that we will start talking from next Monday, that how to configure the routing, what is routing, what are the type of routing and all. So routing is needed when your packet crosses one router and reach to another router, like this one here. You want to go from here to here, and for that you need to cross this router, right? So in that case you need to use routing. Is that clear? Okay,
Means,
the
sir,
configuration.
in simple terms, means we have to send the packets through multiple routers.
Yes, then you need routing. So then you need to define the path. Let's say this router here is connected to this PC by two paths. One is this one, and one is, let's say, using this router here first, then this router here second, and then later on it is connected to that router, something like that. So we have two paths. See, the first path is the above path, this one, and the lower path is this one. So you need to configure on the router. If you want to go there in this network 10.0, which path you want to choose, this one or this one. So that selection of best path, that configuration of path is known as the routing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So right now we are not talking about routing and all, but if you try to take telnet access here from this router, so let's see if we can ping R2 from R1 or not. So ping 192.168.10.2, you can ping, but still if you'll see, can I take that telnet access of this device? No, because I have not configured telnet on this device. Okay, so the device you have configured telnet, only that can be accessed by the remote protocol. So what you need to do? First thing you have done, the host name, and then you need to configure the enable secret password. Then it will be 123, and let's say then you need to configure the line VTY0215, then password 123, login, exit. Now if you'll go here and if you'll try to telnet, now you can see you are able to take the telnet access. Clear? Any questions? Okay.
No.
So if we are done with the telnet, you don't have any question, then we will move forward to the SSH part. Okay, let's see what is SSH and how it is doing the encryption and all, how it is secure, and how to configure. First thing is how to configure SSH. Now I don't want to use telnet. Okay, so initially if you see from here, I am taking the access of the router VR1, I'm able to take the telnet access. See, you are able. But if you want to take SSH, then you will need to change something. What is that? Go to the line VTY0215 and write this command, transport input SSH. By using this command, simply this command, you have disabled telnet and enabled SSH. Okay, first command, this one is needed. As a result, if you will try to telnet now it will reject because now telnet is not working. So you need to use the SSH. The same thing you need to do here also. Line VTY 0 to 15 transport input SSH. Okay. Then what else do you need to do? For this SSH to work, you need to define the cryptographic keys. What are the keys? These are the mixture of your special symbols, your alphabets, your numbers and all. They will jumble up your data and they will create some encryption like this. If you'll see here, they will change your actual data into this coded format and your data will be secure. Only on the receiver side it will be jumbled back into the original data. And who knows that? Your crypto keys know that, your algorithm. So what algorithm you use for telnet and sorry, SSH, because telnet doesn't need encryption, right? So you will be using RSA algorithm. So how to configure this algorithm for your encryption? Then you need to do crypto key generate RSA. This is the command to use this algorithm for your key generation, for your encryption. But the thing is, without configuring a domain name, you cannot use this algorithm. Now, what is this domain name? So when you are generating the keys for encryption, you need two things. One is the router name and one is anything configured known as the domain name. So there is a simple command which you need to follow, IP domain name. And now this can be any name, CCNA, it can be, let's say, CCNP, for example, or let's say it can be ccna.com. So whatever name you prefer. Okay, right now I'm writing CCNA. After that, if you use this command crypto key generate RSA, you can see it is taking the command. And the recommended value for key generation here is 1024. Now you can put the minimum value this one, the maximum value this one. What does this specify? Lower value means your security, your encryption will be less. The chances of decrypting your data is more, but it is easy for the router to do. Your CPU will be utilized less. That is the benefit and that is the loss. In here, if you put this maximum, your CPU will be heavily burdened, heavily loaded, because it is processing that much data at higher bit rates. But the good thing is your data will be so much secure, kind of unbreakable. So that depends what kind of router you have and what encryption scheme is allowed in your company to be have. But the general idea is at least have this in between 1024. So that's what we have done. Okay. So the same thing you need to do on this router.
Like we have to take a big number.
Yes, but if your router is very, of older hardware, not that much CPU, then you should not put the big number.
What is the reason, sir, behind this?
Behind what?
Sir, this matlab choosing a big number, not a small number.
Okay, let's say, have you do you see Hindi movies? You understand Hindi a little bit?
Yes, sir. I am from Hindi only. Hindi, no Hindi.
Bobby Deol had done one movie. What was that? Bichu, or I don't know. Bichu Soldier. Bichu.
Bobby Deol. Yes, sir.
In that movie, he used to have a multiple number of locks on the door.
Yeah, sir.
I think we will have some image on Google. Let's try. Door with multiple deadbolts or locks. Yeah, like this one. This is the image I am talking about. So if you are doing something like this, this is the more encryption, putting higher value. So if somebody try to open this door, it will take more and more time, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the idea, but it will take more time to do this. When you are locking this, so it will take more time to do all of these locks, but this is secure, right? So that is the thing. Or if you just have a single let's say knob, then it is easy to lock the door, but it is kind of easy to break also.
Yes, sir.
So that's the thing we have. Clear?
Okay. Means
Okay.
it consumes more time to decrypt or hack the.
More time and also more CPU resources. Your
Okay.
CPU need to work hard. Your router need to work hard for that.
Okay.
So if it were doing 10,000 routing processing, now it will do less number of routing processes because it is busy doing in the encryption processes.
Okay.
Okay, right. Now let's go to this second router BR2, do the same thing. So IP domain hyphen name. So it can be anything, same or different. But the thing is you need to define this crypto key generate RSA 1024. And now how to access the device using telnet. Go to this device, write SSH minus L or hyphen L, L for login. Then the domain name and then the IP address. See, you are able to access it by the SSH. What is the SSH password? 123. Enable user password 123. That's it. So everything is written here. You don't need to worry about anything. How to set the SSH password? Just need one command. Then how to set domain name and how to set the generate keys, crypto keys, and how to access the router by the SSH. Any
Sir,
question on?
uh, we have only RSA algorithm, sir.
For SSH in you have the RSA algorithm. Yes.
Okay, what about SHA-256? We can use that in SSH.
In packet tracer only RSA is supported. In packet tracer,
Okay, in actual domains
actual device you
and
can change the this encryption scheme you can change. But as per I have seen in this SSH case, especially RSA is used. Let me
okay, sir.
verify that. Let me verify. Let's use GNS3. It will take a minute, but we'll see. Okay, can we use other or not? And let's see it live. Why guess when we can do. This is the reason I don't do practicals on GNS3. It's too slow. Too many variables. These are real routers. So what was the command? IP domain hyphen name. Let's say CCNA. Crypto key generate. See, RSA is there only. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So finally, we have this topic here, which is a router password recovery. So let's have a break, and after the break, we'll talk about the password recovery. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are done with the password settings, how to configure telnet and SSH. The last thing you will do today is the router password recovery. Okay. So what happens? Let's say you lose your password, no? So for example, so either you forget the password you have, or let's say in some other branch of your company, there was a router sitting idle from quite some time, and the engineer who has configured the passwords, so they have left the company, and unfortunately there is no documentation available on that device, So you need to do what? You need to reset the password of that router. So it is something like this. You have a router which has some passwords and you don't know them. Okay, so let's say you have the console password, for example. You have the enable secret password, for example. You save your configuration. What is the command to save? Write. And how to use that in the third mode? By writing the do keyword, do write. Okay, so if you'll check your, and even say, let's say your name is also R1, so just for no reason I'm saving the host name. So you save that, and if you'll see your show run, the password is there. If you check your show start, your password is there. So when you restart the router, okay, so when you plug it in your network, and the first time when you are taking the console access, it will ask you for the password. But the problem is you don't know the password. What to do in that case? Okay, so remember there is this value of configuration register. If you remember in show version output, I have told you that there is this show, configuration register value, which is responsible for the router password recovery. Okay, so somehow you need to go to the Roman mode, recovery mode, and you need to change that value. How? Show version. What is the value? 0x2102. So if you see here, this value is the default value. So somewhere we have something like this one. Okay, so this is the default process you have, right? So first your ROM will work, it will go to the flash memory, then it will check the OS file here, operating system, it will load into VRAM, but before that it will go to the NVRAM and it will check for the password. So password are stored in which memory? What do you think? Flash or NVRAM?
NVRAM.
NVRAM. So before loading everything on the VRAM, it will ask you for the password. So this is where the router is asking you the password. See here, it is asking you, sorry, this one, but you don't know the password. It means what you can do. You need to change this value of the configuration register. Why? Because as long as this value is there, 0x2102, your router is always going to do the NVRAM check. But because you don't have the router password, you don't want the router to check the NVRAM. So what you want to do, you want to bypass this. Okay, so from flash you directly want to load everything into the VRAM. So everything means OS. So only you want to load the OS. So you want to skip your saved configurations. Okay, how to do that is by changing this value here from 0x2102 to 0x2142. Is that clear what we need to do?
Sir, this is a default password in every router.
This is the default value actually, not password, default configuration register value. Yes,
Okay, sir.
in every Cisco router. See, ignore the contents of NVRAM. Right? So how to do that? For that, you need to go to the Roman mode. Remember Roman mode, where we have installed that operating system, right?
Sir.
So at that time, your router was in Roman mode because it was not having any operating system. Right now, you will go into the Roman mode on purpose. That's why it is known as the recovery mode also. So physical, restart your router, and on the keyboard, press the button Control Shift C together. If you are using the laptop, if you are using the computer, or you are using the external keyboard, you will use that Control plus pause break. You know that keyboard has pause break button. So as a result, you will be in the Roman mode. Is that clear? Try to do that in your routers, in your own packet tracer. So first, configure the password in the router, save the password, then restart your computer by going here, off, on, then go to CLI again and press Control Shift C together. You should be here. Do that. Let me know if you are done or not.
Sir, not getting you. Can you tell once again?
Okay. Okay, no problem. So what you need? So have you saved the password? Password,
Yes, sir.
है ना? So by enable secret, have some password, save that, do right, and then you'll go to this. So if you are just normally restarting, do reload, it will ask you the password, है ना? Let's verify that. So if you'll press enter and enable, see, it is going to ask you. If you have configured the console password, it would have asked you right here. But the point is, it is going to ask you the password. So what to do? How to go to the Roman mode? Restart, shut down, power on, It is restarting. Now Control Shift C together. And first you need to click inside this router, okay? Inside the router you need to click. You need to be in the working area of the router. Then only it will
Yes, sir.
work. Try again.
Yes, sir.
Done? So maybe you are doing that same mistake, huh? Not clicking inside the router. Now, when you are here, you need to change that value of the configuration register from 0x2102, which is default, to this one. So how to do that? What is the command? This is the command. So you need to do confreg. Conf for configuration, reg for register, 0x2142. Enter. That's it. That's the only thing you need to do. Sorry. Then reset. So the magic will happen and it will not ask you for the password. It will not ask you for the console password and it will not ask you for the user password. Do that. Tell me, are you here or not? In the third mode of the router without putting the password.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what do you think? Do you not have the password? See the show startup config. See, you have the password. But
Yes,
you
sir.
are not loading that. Okay.
Sir, if we do this,
So,
sir,
uh-huh.
if we do this, yeah, the system will not reset its configuration and settings, sir, or it
No, no,
will
no, no,
remain
no.
as
The configuration will be there in the NVRAM, but it is not, loading that to RAM. That's it.
okay, sir.
In NVRAM it is there, but if you check the RAM show running, there is nothing. No router name, no password, no IP. So it will load no configuration. It is like when you buy the new router, not default configurations.
Okay, sir.
You know? But
Okay, sir.
now before changing the configuration of the router, you need to do a very important step. Otherwise, you will lose your configuration. What is that? You copy first your data from your NVRAM to the VRAM. Okay, now if you'll check the show run, you have the password. If you have saved the hostname, it will get the hostname. If you have saved the IP addressing routing, it will get everything back. And only after doing that, you will change your password. So let's say you don't know the previous password because that is encrypted. So you can configure a new password by yourself and you are good to go. And then after everything, you change the configuration register value by this command. In here, the command is config-register. There it was confreg. So what you want? Because see, if you don't do that, and if you check the do show version, the value is this. And if you reload the router any other time, so it will not ask you the password. So which is something that you don't want now. So what do you want? Change the config register to the original default value. Save. And if you check the do show version, it is saying right now it is this one, but on the next reload, it will be changed. So you need to restart the router. So these are all the processes I have written here very clearly. And this is the lab and all the steps again written step by steps, all the configurations. Any question? Okay. So I hope you understood what we covered today. It makes sense. And from Monday onwards, we'll start talking about the routing protocols. So again, the same thing. Practice all these basics, the fundamentals about IP, the subnetting, the OSI model, at least these 3 topics, and the router, 4 topics. And we will have a little chat about the revision, recall, and we will try to have a quiz. Any question? Any one of you?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, then guys, have a nice weekend, right? And I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.